Cool. Tell me before we begin, tell me about you a bit.
Yeah, let me start. My name is Hadar. I'm 29 years old. I live in Tel Aviv. I'm a data scientist by trade. I did a master's in computer science and a bachelor's in computer science and physics. This is what I still do as a profession. In between, obviously, this is why we're talking. I love building projects that solve my own problems, and this is why both of us started Locator. But yeah, that's briefly about me.
Yeah, and my name is Dor. I'm also 29, and I worked as an automation engineer and build a lot of automation tools. Also, front-end engineer for the last years. And I joined Hadar with the initiative to build Locator and to fix the problems that we have about recommendations and extract locations. And that's it. And actually, it's pretty exciting to do that. And we're glad that we have the chance to get more reviews and make it better.
Yeah, let's see what happens. I am truly the ICP, which is the ideal customer profile for your product. So I know what I want. I know what is working well. I know what is not working well. And the idea is to run a kind of test conducted by you in your way. And then I will give you some hints and tips on how to do it differently. And we will repeat the session again. And I will try to share my screen so you see what I'm doing. That's basically the idea. So let's begin. In the next few minutes, we will be running a test run by these two talented guys from Tel Aviv. And let's see what happens. So welcome. I am the person who you want to test with. And guys, the stage is yours. Please test the way how you test your software with me.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe we can start by sharing a screen. We have our app running in an emulator, and we could test some use cases and possibly explain what the app does throughout. How about that? Okay, well, let's do share. As we wrap up, as we build up the screen, let me just say the purpose of the app is helping you save places you love. What that means is more often than not, we use travel and trip recommendation tools. You probably know TripAdvisor or maybe Google search, where most recommended recommendations will be coming out your way. But sometimes you just want to add recommendations that you find online because you follow influencers that travel around the world and you care about their recommendations, or you possibly just love looking for specific things and specific guides for coffee shops or whatnot, and you'd like a place to save those recommendations in a way that makes sense. So one approach to do that would be, well, obviously, so for example, if we skim through a travel blog or maybe a coffee recommendation blog in Rome, like you can see here, you could then go to Google Maps. You would then enter every location into Google Maps and maybe create a list. That is time consuming, but it is feasible. And our goal was to essentially replace all this manual processes with automations. What you can see here is a coffee recommendation place about 7 best coffee shops in Rome. And
I don't see the screen. I see the screen. You are sharing your screen.
Let's see.
Okay.
Maybe the entire screen and then minimize. How about now? Do you see the iPhone? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So again, just recapping for a quick minute. You've stumbled upon a recommendation, a blog post, because you're traveling to Rome in the near future. You love coffee shops. This article made sense. You'd like to save it to view later once you land in Rome. What we're going to do is we're going to use Locator share functionality. We're going to go ahead and press share, and then we're going to click Locator. The purpose here is that we open the app. That's development mode. So we're just going to, just recently opened. Just a minute. Oh, you have to rerun it or something? Okay, good. Sorry about that.
I would encourage you to start with the discovery part of this interview. So instead of running the solution test, the very first part of a successful discussion with the customer is not to show him or her the solution yet, but rather to try to understand if you're building the right software for the right target group. So there are always two parts of such an interview. You validate the problem, and then you validate the solution. You want to know if I am willing to pay for something that you are building before you show me your solution. So I would encourage you to let's stop the second part of this test, which is the actual test of this the software, and let's assume that you want to learn if you're building something that will be valuable to me. So stop sharing so far, and we validate. So the innovation process has two parts. The very first part is you validate if the problem that I have is something that I'm willing to pay. The second part is you validate if the solution really makes me smile. So there is always the two-part approach. Validate the problem and validate the solution. Are you solving the right problem in the right way? So the very first questions, whenever you meet a customer, shouldn't be about your software, but rather about me. So assume you want to find out if I am the right person, if I have the right pain. Ask your questions. How have you validated the pain? What questions have you asked?
Right. That's a good point. Usually I go ahead and ask users, you're planning a trip, right? You're going with the family, you're traveling, planning a trip to Rome. And how do you go about with gathering recommended places? Tell me a bit about the process of what you experienced so far. That's the first question I might ask.
Okay, well, I travel a lot, so I spend like a month of every single year traveling, and definitely I look for interesting places when I arrive at new areas. The interesting thing is I'm interested in nature and architecture and some sightseeings. There are two ways how I approach this right now. I usually, when I arrive somewhere, I will create a list of places, probably in Notion, that I want to visit, and I often will search for these places on Google. And it's probably when I arrive in Paris or Lyon, whatever the place is, I will probably go through 10, 20 different pages and look for different sightseeing places that fit me, where I can go with my wife, maybe with the kids and the dog. So I will create a list of places I want to visit in the city, and I will definitely create a shareable list in Google Maps that I can share with my wife.
So how do you think in terms of, is that a convenient approach to you? Do you think that you would be benefit if there was a solution that would have made this entire process a bit more automated or a bit faster? Are you looking for something that is the intersection between travel planning and productivity tools? That's what I might be asking as a follow-up. Because opening a bracket here, some people, and I've talked with clients that says, I don't mind doing that, I enjoy the process, and then I would say, good for you. You may not be a good fit for our solution, but in most cases, they will say, well, no, it's tedious, it takes some time, I don't quite like it, and I think that I may be missing something out because I have to manually do it every time.
I travel a lot, and I search a lot for lists of places I want to visit, and I don't know if it's if searching websites. So this is still fun to look at websites and to look for interesting places. It's a manual step, but this is part of the journey, I guess. It's probably something. Yeah. I wouldn't say I enjoy it, but I don't hate it. I don't really hate it. Yeah. So But I work a lot with lists, and I work a lot with shareable lists. I love to see these lists on Google Maps, where my wife will see all the places that we have visited in France. So when we open Google Maps, it's fantastic to see all these places, all these lists that we created together for our trip to France, for our trip to Italy, and these are differently colored lists. So I can see, okay, we have visited on Google Maps these 35 places when we were there for 4 weeks, and then you see on the left-hand side in Paris or in the South France area, all the blue dots that we have visited there. So I like working with these lists. I like creating these lists. So it's definitely something that is interesting for me.
Okay, got it. So this is good because I think it provides like an elegant or a nice segue into what we propose, because we never intend to replace the exploration part entirely. We just want to alleviate the process of by the time you find something you came across that you've enjoyed, that you've liked to visit in your next travel, it would be a matter of one click to bringing this to the platform that you're the most convenient with. So instead of so obviously we enjoy the process of looking online in blog posts about beaches in Bali, because this is part of the travel, at least it is for me. But then the manual process of translating those blog posts or social media posts or whatnot into the platform that is convenient for my specific use case, I think this is where most people tend to say this is where the fun ends and the labor begins, so to speak. So I think that Locator, the app, provides a solution in this area, which may be. So anyway, again, opening up brackets here. This is where I might open up like an emulator or start showcasing some recommendations.
Okay, and this is basically just to give you feedback. This is the very first part of the journey. If you find a problem where I tell you I hate it, and if you find 5 other people that tell you I hate it, and if these people tell you I will give you money if you solve it tomorrow, that's basically the best reaction to get. If you get this reaction, you have something where people will buy your software in the end. So this very first part until now is crucial for success of your software. And I will now give you my questions that I ask people in my professional discovery sessions. And let's redo this part and let's see how it feels for you. So so far you asked some questions, and you told me what you've heard from some other people, and you guided me towards your solution. And your goal is in this very first part to assume you know nothing, to assume that you are maybe wrong with your solution, to really not be in love with your solution. And you tried already to convince me that you have the right solution. Don't do it. Don't try to convince me in this discovery part. The discovery part is where you try to learn if you are really moving in the right direction. And now I sent you the questions that I typically ask people, and let's redo it. Let's just redo the discovery part where you validate the problem and you search for the problem that people are willing to pay for. Okay, so I'm back again. Welcome.
Okay. Okay, let's start. How about you tell me about your typical way of creating lists of places?
Okay, well, when I travel to places, I've been to France last year, 4 weeks traveling with my wife through France. So we love traveling like this, a month in Italy, France, or other places. And what I like about these lists, I love them because I can share them instantly on Google Maps with my wife, and she will see all the places that we plan to visit. So I will probably, the very first step is when we arrive in Dijon, somewhere in France, I will probably go to Google Maps. I will probably read 1 or 2 articles just to have an impression about the city. And then I go to Google Maps and I click on the search bar, and I will put in sightseeings or architecture or something like top voted places, and I look for them on this map of the city that I arrive in, and then I will click the recommendations from people who looked at the place, and I will add them to the list like Tour de France 2024, which is instantly shared with my wife. That's basically my way. I will look at articles, then I will read something about this area, and then I go to Google Maps and look for these interesting places that are high rated and have a lot of recommendations.
So what do you think are the most frustrating parts of this process that you're describing?
Or there is one thing that I hate. If I click on Google Maps, you basically have to search for these icons that show me sightseeings. It's kind of impossible to somehow just tell Google, show me every single sightseeing area around Paris or Lyon. It's just impossible. You just have to zoom in and zoom out and search if there is something that is interesting. It takes hours for me to find places around a city. So it's super frustrating for me to, for example, when we arrive in Lyon, I want to instantly see all the interesting places around Lyon that have a lot of recommendations, not just one 5-star review. I don't trust these. It needs to be like 100 or 1,000 5-star reviews, or 4.7, and I will then read some of these ratings, and if I like it, I will put it on the shared list with my wife. But it's really, to be honest, it takes hours to find the places around the city where we arrive. So I zoom in and zoom out. So this is frustrating. It costs a lot of time.
Okay, got it. Should I keep going?
Yeah.
So how would it work in the perfect world? What would be the best solution to solve what you've described?
In the perfect world, I would just I would probably click or say to a tool, I'm traveling to this place. I would click on the place on a map, and it would give me all the recommended places in the area of 10 or 20 kilometers around this place, where it instantly shows me the top rated, the top highest rated with the most highest amount of ratings. So if I click on the city of Dijon, if it just instantly shows me 20, 30 places where I can just maybe swipe to the right and to the left if I like it, and it will create instantly a list in Google Maps. It needs to be in Google Maps because it's perfectly shared, and I have like everything in there. So if you extract the beautiful architectural places and the nature places like waterfalls, and if I could switch between nature and architecture and maybe famous walks or something like this would be fantastic. This would be very, very convenient.
And are there any tools that you've tested that you've tried before that tried to solve the problem you're facing?
Oh well, I just swear I just feel bad when I do it. So I will look at Google Maps and will complain that Google Maps is so powerful, but it's not capable of showing me the most beautiful natural places around Dijon or whatever city, or Rome. So it's if I travel to this place, we always want to go to natural places and to some places like architectural places. So I will search for some websites, then I will find one place on this website that looks promising, and then I go to Google Maps to search for it. So it's a very manual step.
Right. So what would make a solution worth paying for?
Oh, I would definitely pay something, probably not a monthly fee, because I don't use it like constantly, but a one-time fee like 10, 20, 25 euros or dollars, I would definitely pay for something that allows me to tell this tool, hey, I'm traveling to Frankfurt next week. Show me the 20 best architectural places and show me the best nature-based places in this area. And it creates a shareable list instantly in Google Maps, I will pay it tomorrow. So definitely.
That's
Okay.
an interesting intake. Yeah, I mean,
how does it feel? So what's different? What's your learning?
So I think that these
And
questions.
don't try to convince me of your solution, but rather your learnings when it comes to the process.
Well, I think that asking questions in this sequential order kind of helps us understand the span of the solution from like what's the use case that the people are facing with? Are they willing to pay? What have they tried? I think that it provides a solution that is an answer that is much more broad than simply, as you said, like it's not convincing of what we have. It's understanding. Exactly. It's understanding the entire structure of the problem, the solution, and how to solve it in a way that makes much more sense. At least it structures out the solution in a way that makes much more sense, I think. I think that, you know, many people have different views of how they solve this solution, and you know, not trying to convince of our solution, which is quite different from the answers you were describing. So some functionalities you've described are indeed something we can invest our time in, but others are quite differentiated from the main features that we provide. But I think it's an interesting take, because we can understand that if we want to provide a solution that is complete, we might need to expand some core functionalities to reach a broader market, or to you know, increase our sales. That even.
Well, what I'm trying to show you, if you do this step before you build your product, which no one basically does, that's basically my daily job. I work with huge companies, telling them, if you skip these questions, tell me about your current way of working, tell me about your dream way of working, what have you tried, what is so frustrating that you are willing to pay, how would you pay? These are basically 4 questions: current world, future dream world, the obstacles, and the willingness to pay. So you ask about how do you work, what is frustrating, how would the perfect way of working look like, what have you tried so far, what has worked, what hasn't, and what part of the solution is worth paying for, so, and how much. So you learn so much that you basically know that you basically need one feature. If you do it with 5 people like me, you basically know that you need one feature to build something where people want to pay for. That's basically the idea. If you build the next tool and run these discovery questions with 5 to 7 people, you will instantly know what to build and what you can skip. That's how simple it is, and no one does it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, and the second part of this, whenever you figure out, okay, there is something where they are willing to pay, where they want to pay for, you just maybe create a quick prototype. I use Claude or UX Pilot or all these AI tools to create prototyping in just seconds. And then I test it with the customers before building the tool. So testing so long until they tell you, I love it, can I have it tomorrow? And then only then you build it. And this is basically the approach that I teach. So you validate the pain, you validate the willingness to pay, and then you validate which solution should we build before you build it.
Right. Yeah. I think that we've did quite the opposite. I mean, it did start from a pain, but it was a personal pain. More often than not, personal pains are not shared among large audiences. And at least in my case, it does solve my pain, and possibly some of my friends' pain. But I think that one of the crucial points you're making here is that what is the willingness to pay? Because, you know, they might say, well, this is a great tool, I would love to use it. But that's one question. And the other question is, right, I would like you to pay for this tool, and then they would provide you with a different answer. So I think it's one core aspect of this.
Yeah, and there are some cool books that teach you how to validate the willingness to pay. WTP is the abbreviation. If you know that people are willing to pay for one part of the solution, you know that you are on the right track. So most people validate the idea, most people present the solution, but no one validates the willingness to pay. So that's basically the most interesting part probably of this way of validating. Now I'm trying to share my screen here. Well, and the way how people present product, you started by presenting the software to me. This is like one mistake that costs you a lot of important feedback. If you show me a demo of your software, you are basically showing the right way of using it. So you learn nothing. You want to tell me, can you start the app? Can you start using it? And then we will shut up and we will just listen to you. That's the only way of testing. You never demo your product, because demo is losing the first impression of your users, because you show the user how to use it without learning what is not working well.
Right.
So that's why I'm not letting you show us anything. I'm starting an emulator here on my Android device, and
Okay.
I will run the thinking aloud test for you. Thinking aloud means I think loud what I see. Okay, so I started this tool. Locator helps you save places that you find online. In this tutorial, this is not the most beautiful entry screen, but I get everything. Saved places. Okay, clicking here, provide a link. I don't have a link. I will search for a link first. I will search for a link. I have one now. Okay. So, okay. Provide a link. What's happening? Good. I have a link.
Oh, that's not going to work.
You are supposed to shut up, right? I'm showing you the real way how I run it. Okay, I added a link, and it shows me landmarks in Paris. I added a link from somewhere else. What's going on? Okay, it showed me Paris. It's not what I expected. It's not the test that I wanted to see if it can really extract places from this website before I start using it. It's unfortunate it didn't use the actual example. Okay, so it now moves me to Google Maps, which is nice. What I don't like is it's not the most beautiful list. It doesn't show me the number, the rating of these landmarks in Google Maps, but it has worked. Okay, so what's the next step? Okay, it shows me the same list now in this tool. Okay, get it. Got it. Let's start. Oh, I hate it. It wants me to create a login. Why? It's supposed to just extract things from a website. I don't want to create a login.
We can see the
Screen for somehow.
the emulator.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it tries to convince me to create a login. Okay, something is happening.
We're still not seeing the screen, by the way. I'm not sure why. It's like a blank white screen on our end.
Okay. But well, at this point, I would probably give up because it's asked me to create a login, which I don't want to create. I want this tool to extract things from places, maybe from websites. I don't know if it's valuable because I read these websites. I would love to enter like a place and ask it to show me a list. But why should it? Should I create a login for this? I don't understand it. So this is basically the way how you want to test your software. You don't ever show it, but rather tell the user, can you start it? and just think loud what you're doing. And if you show me the login screen and show me provide a link, I instantly provided a link when I started Locator for the very first time.
Mhm.
And my dream solution would be, I go to Locator, I say the city that I travel to, and it instantly shows me the sightseeing without me going to websites. Why should I go to a website? You can use Perplexity or Google or ChatGPT search to tell me all the places around Lyon. Why would I ever need a website? So for me, the dream solution would be, I start Locator, I provide the name of the city that I travel to, and it shows me some natural places and some architectural places in a super beautiful way. That's basically how I would end this test right now. I love it that it asks me to create a list, but I don't understand why I need an account. Maybe you can explain that you need my Google account to be able to read my lists or to create lists. So that's basically how I would react to this app.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for going through the demo. I do want to state out that the purpose of the app is entirely different from your perfect description of, because what we had in mind is we both love social media, for example, right? Most of the recommended places I get for my travels and whatnot come from Instagram, TikTok, and blog posts I find online because I search for specific things. You know, I could ask ChatGPT or Perplexity or whatnot to give me some pretty generic recommendations. But if I have a person I follow who lives in the States, for example, who lives in LA, and he is sharing tailor-made recommendations, and I follow him because I love those recommendations, Locator comes here with saving his recommendations in a way that makes sense for me. So sharing the video, sharing the blog post, then
it's still a valid use case, but it could be like one of the use cases. What do you want to extract? Places around a city or places from a website? So this could be a super valuable way of starting the Locator tool, where you tell the user, you don't need to provide a website. If you want just to see interesting places in Paris, I will show you. But if you have a website, it will be even more streamlined and customized.
And I think it's a valid point because what we find out that users, even those who are willing to sign in, what they face is pretty much an empty screen waiting for them to add links, blog posts, social media. And most of the users churn at that very moment.
Exactly. Because it's a difficult step. Yeah, it's a difficult step. If you ask me for my login names or to create an account, this is already something where I give up. So the very first time when I started Locator, I was thinking, why to hell are you asking for my email address? Just extract places from the website or from the area that I travel to and show me a beautiful list. And if I want, let me export this list to Google Maps. That would be fantastic. So if you give me the opportunity to find beautiful places around the city that I travel to, and you let me develop a list in Google Maps, I would love it. And it's something that I definitely would pay for. So this is, and I'm not playing this, is something that is so bothering for me that I believe that more people will love to see beautiful places around the place where they are. There is no way of searching for this. You can use Perplexity or so, but then you need to manually go to Google Maps and create this list. And it would be fantastic if you created this list. If you ask me, which one should I export to Google Maps, and then you create this list. I don't know if you have access to creation of lists in Google Maps, but this would be fantastic.
Right. We're going to have to figure that out ourselves as well. I'm not sure, really. But probably solve it, I assume.
Yeah. So that's basically the two-part approach. So the very first part is where you always, if you meet someone like me, you start with the discovery part, current way of working, dream way of working, what have you tried, what part of it would you even pay for? So these 4 questions. And then you don't demo your product, but rather tell the person, can you start this app on your smartphone and we will watch you struggle. And you will be like, come on, how stupid is he or she? But this is exactly where you can improve your app. So you've seen. So when you show me the very first screen, I want it to be beautiful and instantly valuable. If you, in this entry screen, ask me, what's the place you're traveling to? And I can enter Dijon or a small city where I travel to, and you instantly show me some beautiful pictures and rating and how many rating it has and nature or architecture or mixed or whatever. It will be instant value. So you don't even ask for login, but rather give me instant value. And then you create something that is definitely valuable to the world.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the last 50 minutes?
I think it was kind of hard because the first thing is the app didn't work for you, so it's not good. So this is the first thing. And the second, I believe that maybe the scenario that we are trying to approach is not exactly what you just showed, but this is the pain. So maybe we need to think about the solution again, or how we can make the solution bigger and that touches more approaches and not only save places in the way that we think that it should be. Maybe there are more approaches. But yeah, that's our good point. So we need to think about a lot of stuff now.
Right. I agree with Dor. You basically haven't tested the app itself, but the onboarding is part of the app. The onboarding wasn't good enough for you to even try the app that, in our experience, provides a better solution, actually solve the problem that we're discussing. Setting aside the fact that this is not quite exactly the solution you were describing, but I think it's an important point to consider that if we getting user through the onboarding into the main page and showing them beautiful value from the first point, then we have some work to do.
Yeah.
So I'm in the app right now, and the safe place is the very first point here is search. So I searched for a city instantly, and nothing happens. So it's I cannot search. So if you allowed me to search for a city instantly, this would be instant value. So don't just provide the plus, but rather search for a place. Where are you going? And if you have a website with places, we can extract them as well. But start instantly with a simple way. Okay, give me a city and I will give you everything what is worth seeing in this city.
Yeah, I think it's a good selling point. And because, we don't want to make the user think. It has to be very intuitive and brings value from the very beginning. This is what I'm getting from.
And if you ask me, there are some more questions. How painful is it to find places on websites and to transfer them to Google Maps? On a scale from 1 to 10, it's 3. So I will go to this website and copy this the one place that the waterfall that I want to see in the city and go to Google Maps. But if you show me the most beautiful places around the city without me providing anything, this is a very difficult way. So if you save me these 3 hours of searching for beautiful places when I arrive in Lyon, this is value where I want to pay for. So you could validate with your friends who told you, I will use it to extract things from a website. Ask this question: how frustrating is it on a scale from 1 to 10? Is it at 7, 8, 9, 10? And what part of this solution is worth paying for? And they will tell you, well, this probably not, but this I would pay. And then you can ask, what is a no-brainer price? What is an expensive price?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I think that the solution is built from 2 parts. The first part is the creating the list, and the second part is to use the list. And if you are used to take the article and create the list in Google Maps directly, in Google List directly, so the second part is pretty easy because just open Google Maps and you can see all the locations. But I think that if you're not doing that, if you're not creating the list, and sometimes it could be the pain, and I think that we are relying on this pain to create the recommendation and the list in Google. So The idea is you not need to use Locator all day. Only when you want to, you see like a TikTok with a recommendation, you just share it to the app, and the app is doing it for itself, taking the locations and save it for you. And the day you will arrive to Lyon or any other place, you just open Locator and you can see all the places around you.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is the whole point.
Okay, so here is a real test. I added a travel lodge or some link here. Extracting. Okay, this is frustrating. So I found a list with beautiful places, but it's not as supported. So yeah, that's what I mean. You're running into an area where you definitely need to validate a ton of websites, because I took TripAdvisor's website and it doesn't seem to be supported. So you're running in a super difficult area where people will be frustrating if it's not working.
Right.
Yeah, cool. But I love the idea. I really love the idea. So don't be discouraged. You are on the right track. You are really on the right track, and we can run a follow-up session where you show me the next version, where you give me some value, or you tell me what you have learned by talking to some people. So we can have some follow-up sessions where you tell me we had 3 or 5 discussions with people who are using Locator, and they all told us, definitely I will pay, or it's nothing that I will pay for. So I believe in you. That's why I contacted you, because it's a real pain. It's a real pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
Thank you.
Cool.
Well, anyway, Adam, thank you so much for your time. It was really fun, to be honest. I think that, you know, when most of our feedback comes from friends and family, where they obviously have the intention to keep us intent and happy, it's really valuable listening to someone who doesn't owe us anything, and it was very valuable anyway. That's what I'm trying to say.
Try to find 5 people who really have the pain. Validate the pain first. So the first part, the discovery question that I sent you, and if you find these 5 people, ask them, can we come back whenever we have the next version of our tool? And they will definitely tell you yes, if you found a problem that is frustrating for them. Look at Blue Sky or online for people who travel a lot and who use maps to create lists when they travel. Just ask this question. I'm looking for 5 people to ask a few questions. If you're someone who's traveling and using lists to plan your trips, please raise your hand. I need 5 minutes or 15 minutes of your time. So that's basically how you learn. And if you find this one pain that people are willing to pay, you will be successful with your tool. Guys, so regards to Israel, and maybe we meet somehow in person.
Well, thank you, Adam. I hope we can catch up with a better version for you to test out as well.
Okay, I'm curious. Bye-bye.